Hi, everyone. It's Melanie Warner here with Defining Moments. Thank you so much for being here. We love to share defining moments about people's lives. We love to talk about purpose and how to, redefine your purpose, how to monetize your message or take this pain in your life and turn it into purpose. So, a lot of the stories that we do here on our show are really designed to inspire you to take action, to focus on your own transformation in your personal and professional life and see where it can take you. Like just learning how to live outside of your comfort zone. So, our guest today is no exception. In fact, she's very exceptional. I want to welcome Sarah Shaffer. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, Melanie. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh
This is a
my God.
huge day.
It is. So today we're celebrating a couple of things. Number one, Sarah is a new best-selling author. Her book has launched officially. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I also want to celebrate just what you've overcome to get to this stage of even being able to write this book. So, Sarah, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us a little bit more about you and maybe a defining moment in your own life.
Absolutely. I joke that my life is 11 shades of Meredith Grey and just kind of one rolling dumpster fire after another. And you know, I got sober on in May of 2021, and that brought a lot of clarity. And with that clarity comes ownership and accountability and the freedom that comes with that. And as you and I were talking, when we're boggled down with all of these things that we all grew up with, we're products of our childhood. And these things impact how we respond today. And some of them serve purpose and some of them don't. And having had, childhood abuse, child that survived a rare disease, stem cell transplant, on the outside, I took all of that and developed a foundation and a cord blood program, great jobs, United Healthcare, blah, blah, blah. And I was crumbling inside and I was dousing it with alcohol and it absolutely served no purpose. And I wasn't bringing value to my life, my career, my family. And, there were some really dark and spooky moments. And when I decided to get sober, it was a do or die. There was no more gray in between. And you decide to get up, and it's when I wanted to. And that made all the difference. And owning my stuff, even the darkest, is the most freeing thing. And the strategies I've learned to just keep moving forward.
So that decision when things were, like you said, I love that. So many different shades of Meredith Grey. I love it. And working in the medical space and seeing people that are coming in who've made life decisions that are affecting their health, like seeing it in front of you every day. I can imagine that would give you a very direct black and white view of the world of like, hey, if I don't take care of this situation, it's going to take me out, right? Like that
Right.
it's like this emotional sobriety that comes from just like you said. I could picture when you said I'm dousing it with alcohol. If your life is already not good and it's already on fire, and you
Right.
douse it with alcohol, then you create this dumpster fire life that you talk about.
That's what we do. We're running behind, but by the side of these dumpsters and we're throwing the alcohol in, we're lighting the match, and we don't have to. I think that's the biggest thing is we do not need to make this so much harder than it already is.
And
And
it's
we're
not,
the
and the dumpsters that have wheels, they just follow you. It's not like you
correct.
can just
You
leave
just
it and
gotta
run
keep you
away.
just gotta keep up with
You
them.
got to
You
outrun
just
it.
gotta
It's
keep
going
up with them.
downhill fast, just like your life.
Exactly,
Um,
and not get rolled over by them. We can't make them go away. We know that. And
right.
so, what my intention is to teach strategies on how to get up out of this dumpster fire, how to dig through it and find your purpose and turn the garbage that is in there into something good. I love the story of the elder and the child with the good wolf and the bad wolf. The bad wolf is resentment, anger, frustration, and the good wolf is love, peace, and solidarity. And the child says, they're fighting. Which one wins? It's the one you feed. It's the one you feed. And you have this fire and you can decide, you can choose which direction you want to go in.
Well, and I think too, making that conscious decision, number one is awareness, just being aware that you have this problem. Number two, taking accountability and this moral inventory of where is this coming up and how is it showing up in my life? How is it affecting
Right.
my relationships, my health, my finances, my job, my career? A lot of times, if we're in a job and we're fighting with our boss, it could be that parent-child relationship dynamic that we're, reliving over and over again.
Avoiding.
Comes this
Yeah.
pattern that becomes so toxic that it doesn't matter what relationship we're in, it keeps repeating that pattern. If we don't get to the root of it, it's like we're throwing fertilizer on it and it's just
Yep.
making it grow.
And it's that core, and it's what I call my superpower, the Martha Stewart of dumpster fires. I see it very clearly, very quickly. You go right to the core. It's gonna hurt. But if we've got these fires and all we're doing is we're just spreading them everywhere. We're not doing anything. And getting to the core, it's gonna hurt. She's gonna hurt bad. But then it will be done and we can move forward. That
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I mean, that is just when we're stuck. When we're stuck, we feel alone and helpless and just questioning where we're going with all of this.
And when we feel stuck, it's literally like our feet are in the mud and we
Mhm.
don't know where to go. We don't know, which direction. So what's the first step someone should take to get their life back on track if they're in that right now, listening to this, watching this?
If you're in the stuck, and again, it's looking at yourself. You know, um, on the outside, we look great. We are poised, we're educated, we're professionals. And I had all of that, and I was an alcoholic. I lost two jobs, had to go to rehab twice, done all of that. And then I'm sitting here. So what do you do first is you look at the mirror. You look in the mirror and you say, I don't like what I see, and I want to change it. It is that desire. That's the key to making that change, is that you want to do it for yourself.
And I think the key is, like you said, do it for yourself, right? Like investing in yourself, which is what a lot of
Yes,
people don't do because it's easier to
correct.
blame your life or circumstances or a partner or your ex or all these things that it's easy to avoid responsibility and personal accountability by just saying, I'm a victim of this circumstance or this person.
Yes,
And when
yes.
victims say, when that person is out of my life or that situation, my life will be better. But victors say, my life's going to be great no matter what. And I'm responsible for everything that's happening in my life. It's based on my choices. And I'm ready to invest in myself. And here's the
Yep.
thing about development that I love. You can help someone lose weight. It's not going to fix their relationship. You can help
Right.
someone save their business or fix their finances, but it's not going to help them have better health. So there's only one thing that you can do that will change everything, and that is focusing on the relationship with yourself, which is personal development. That's where the real transformation happens. And when you
Absolutely.
go through that process of personal transformation, guess what happens? Everything gets better.
Everything changes. Yep.
It's a
Everything
foundation
changes. And
shift.
this is the rolling dumpster fire. This
Mhm.
is it.
It's all thought
And
problems
it's
in it.
all
Yep.
thinking. And you and I have talked about before that the emotional spanks as women, what we do, we stuff everything down. We put it down and believe, we were told it's going to just disappear, and it doesn't. It comes bubbling out everywhere else. You got some back fat, half a boob's coming out. It's just terrible. It's terrible. And we need to just strip it off.
Yeah.
Just let it all hang out. And that's what I really hope, people see that you're able to do, is we already know it. We're already thinking it. We're already doing that negative thinking.
Right.
So we
Stinking
shift
thinking.
it, we reframe it. We reframe it and change the thoughts, change the talk in our head.
So, Sarah, tell us about your book. First of all, what's the name of your book? And you have a cover here because it's out now, which is so exciting. So you guys can
I
get.
do, I do.
And by the way,
So,
oh, go ahead.
yep, it is called The Dumpster Fire Diaries. Get off the hot mess express. And to me, it just verbalizes, kind of, for myself personally, as a Gen X woman. We are stuck between these two generations, our aging parents, our children. being spread way too thin, trying to do it all. And the book is really my story. It was absolutely a journey and one of the most valuable things I've ever done in my life. Um, and it's a guide to let other women know, one, you're not alone. I am not unique. I've got this laundry list and I'm not the only one. It just looks different,
Absolutely.
and
And I think women, we tend to focus on, we lose ourselves in our partners, we lose ourselves in our jobs. We define ourselves by who we're with and who we're taking care of. And now you're talking about Generation X. There's a lot of women in that age range that are going through transition in their life, like the empty nest syndrome. And
yep,
just because your nest is empty doesn't mean your life has to be, right? Some of
right.
you may be going through a midlife crisis, but you can choose to build a midlife castle. And
Yep,
it's a choice.
absolutely.
It's a choice. So
Absolutely. So when you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, how did I get here? What the heck happened? And that next question is, how do I get out? What do I want to do? And you keep your eye on the prize and we shift it to our own prize. And when we are fulfilled ourselves, guess what improves? Everything around us.
yeah, your relationship with yourself, when that gets better, and most people don't know how to focus on what does that mean, that women especially think self-love means selfish. But what I learned after my divorce is I used to think that if I love my kids really hard, they're going to love themselves really well.
Right.
But what I learned
Right.
the hard way, the gift that I got from that process was that my kids learn to love themselves based on how I love myself. And if I treat myself well, take care of myself, show good habits, wake up, do the things I need to do all the
Yep.
things in my life that I'm meant to do, they're going to see that not only does mom have what it takes, but that they have that resilience in them as well. And the greatest gift you can give your children is your own happiness. So if you're
And
out,
you just hit the nail on the head because exactly that. My children saw me fall way, way down. We're talking licking the bottom of the barrel. And they saw me get up. And that ownership and that accountability, I passed that on to them to break that cycle. Things that I was holding on. I didn't have my day in the ring. I never got to, be told it's okay. I let them know I did these things. They hurt you. Tell me about it. I don't want you to be 30 and sitting in a therapist's office, and that ownership and letting them see that it's okay to say out loud what you've done. You own it. It's the intention. I
yeah,
intend to let you know that I am sorry for this.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer's parenting advice. And I heard this years ago and it made me laugh, the actress Michelle Pfeiffer. And she said, every
Yeah.
time I screw up, I'm going to put $1 in a jar. And by the time my kids are 18, it'll either pay for college or therapy. And either way,
Yep.
they're going to be just fine.
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
there's this misconception as parents that we have to act perfect and put, we have to be on this pedestal for them to like respect us and listen to us. And we have to act like we have it all together when we really don't. Right. And
Right.
that's what real life is. And in this modern day society of everybody being, Zombies and fake book and
Right.
everything, it's all
Right.
about transparency and authenticity. Right. And I see your cat trying to make a camo.
I know. He's painful. But you're correct. And I put it all out there in the book. Everything. And that is one of the responses that I get from people is, "Oh my God, it's okay for you to say these things. You
So
you feel okay."
how does your book differ from other self-help books on the market?
I think it is absolutely raw and relatable, and it opens that door first and foremost to not feel alone. To know that you are okay and you too are not your story is unique. Your story is absolutely unique, but you're not alone.
Absolutely. And I think too, just giving people those tools for transformation, because it's really kind of like
Yes.
if you're going to go fix something in your house and you don't even know how to use a hammer, then you
Right.
need to learn the basic tools and then you can fix a lot of things yourself once you learn self-love, self-awareness,
Yes.
self-healing. And then you're not relying on some therapist at 3 a.m. when you're going off the rails. And I
You're
love
learning these
how
tools and
you
each
have these
chapter,
great tools.
yeah. each chapter has a different strategy that I
I can picture
use.
you now. You're like the handyman with the big old tool belt going, come on, ladies, we're gonna
I
fix
do. I've got a load of them. I've got a load of them. You know,
I love
my son is a Division 3 swimmer, and we were just down at his final meet, and using that tool, he botched a race and he's done. It's the end of the season. We don't do it. And he came down and he's like, Mom, I just need to vomit this all out. I said, get it out. Just put it all out on the table. And he went and swam his next best race.
I love
So
it.
it is that verbal vomit that
Right.
is
And it's like
vital. It's
I love this
vital.
Spanx. I love this Spanx analogy because we do that. We do as women, especially, we stuff things down. We're supposed to be nice. We're supposed to be patient. We're supposed to be kind. We're not supposed to talk back. We're just supposed to be nice. And so you just keep shoving it down. And it might look like everything's fine on the outside, but that stuff is just, crammed all
It's
together
bubbling.
inside your
She's
body.
bubbling. It's like that storm.
Like
It's
a
like the hailstorm. You know, you're standing in it when you're stuck. Here you go. So when you're stuck and you're getting all those little tiny hails that are stinging you and they're incessant, and you see ahead the tornado and the big hail balls, and you know it's coming no matter what, because everything's brewing. And you know, if you go in, you're going to get hit with those big hail balls and you'll get some bruises, but you get through it. And no matter what, that storm is coming. And so it's that empowerment to say, all right, I got it. I'm going to barrel through it. We're going to call everything out exactly how as it is. There's no
Mhm.
more sugarcoating because it doesn't help anybody. It
So,
helps
so
no one.
So here's the thing, you experience all of these transformations in your own life, and you became your first client in a way. You became
Yes,
the
ma'am.
person who needed these tools. So you were able to heal and work through a lot of things and challenges as a woman, as a mother, and you learned this the hard way. And through
Yep.
this process, you created this amazing system that helps
Yes.
compress time. So now, if other people are going through this, and
Yes.
you're like bounce back, babe. I was like that. I was grief girl, and everybody wanted to know after I lost my son, like, how did you get through it? And I'm like, you
Right.
just have to go through it. You don't have to
Yep.
carry it, but you got to get through it. And so I learned a lot of valuable tools that helped me that I now help other people. So
Yep.
you've developed this system. Tell me more about your process, your system, and how it helps people with their own transformation.
Absolutely. So to your point, I've lived this life. I've been through, the therapies and the rehabs and all of this stuff, and taking little bits and pieces from each part and developing this butterfly breakthrough. And the key to it is getting right to the core, is not dancing around. It's that honesty and authenticity that really drives getting transformation in 6 weeks. I've done
Oh my
all
gosh.
this work. I've done all this work over 30 years. I can save you 30 years
Right.
worth of
You can see
chaos.
you can see the gaps. And I love this in the coaching world. It's like, how can you read the label if you're inside the jar,
Yeah.
people? So a good mentor is worth 1,000 coaches. And this is what I love about what you're doing, Sarah, because not only are you helping people through it, mostly women, right? Most
Yeah.
of your clients are women, but you're really helping them see their own gaps, and you're coaching them through the gaps, and you're doing it in this ninja way because you're just coming in like almost like a stealth ninja, like you're coming in, you're seeing it, you're calling it out, and you're pulling that root out so it's
Yeah.
not festering. Whereas
Correct.
therapy is almost like, nothing against therapists, but have you ever known people that have gone for 20 years and they've never actually solved their problem because they're not going deep enough to the root? And
Exactly.
it's not your therapist's fault. They're trained. They have this license and restriction to only do these things, but sometimes it doesn't actually solve the root of the problem. And when you go in and remove the root, then the roots are what threatens your beautiful garden and all your
Right.
and the things that feed your soul and your life. And when you get rid of the root of the weeds, right? You see a need, you fill it. You see a weed, you pull it. And this
Yep.
is identifying those weeds that are in the garden of your life, and you're the person that's going in and helping them remove it very quickly. Um,
And
so
to your point, with therapy and the license, I'm a medical social worker of 25 years. I've got the training, I've got the education, I got my master's at Penn. It's the restrictions. We are very limited in that space, in what we can say, how we can say it. If someone's coming to talk to me and they're saying, I'm done with my marriage, it's him, and all of this stuff. yes, we can identify what absolutely needs to be done, but we're going to look at your role. What have you accepted? What have you tolerated? And, people don't like that.
Right. They
That
don't,
can
it's
scare
easier to
people.
blame somebody else. And if I think
Correct.
if you're in a toxic or very unhealthy or abusive relationship, it's so much easier to blame this person for just being a jerk rather than say,
Right.
well, what part am I playing and how am I triggering that and how am I enabling that? And
Yep.
so what happens, Sarah? I mean, what happens if people don't solve this for themselves? If they don't learn this system and learn these tools, what happens to those people?
Well, I think they're already seeing it. It's the wash, rinse, repeat. The definition of insanity is repeating the same behaviors, expecting a different outcome. So if you're seeing and you're not understanding why am I still not at peace? Why do I not feel like I have purpose? Why am I doing all of this stuff and I'm exhausted and I'm not fulfilled and I'm still feeling stuck? Then, it's looking at your actions and your behaviors. And that can be very scary, but it doesn't have to be. Because
Right.
again, that
Nobody
concept
wants to
of
sit.
you're not alone. You're not alone.
The thing I think that's so fun about you, Sarah, and that I love about you is you make this fun. So it's not like no one wants to just stare at the navel of like their childhood wounds and analyze the underbelly of that and reopen old wounds. Like that's not fun. But you
Right.
make it so fun and you're so engaging and you're so non-judgmental that it's just kind of like, okay, let's deal with that. And it's
Well,
not,
and that,
there's no
yeah,
critical voice in there at all or judgment that you find with a lot of women when women try to support each other.
absolutely.
There tends to be this kind of undefined competition where there's a
Yes,
great saying that men put women on a pedestal, but other women chip away until that pedestal crumbles. That was, I think, Betty Davis.
absolutely. Yep.
And so you have such a strong position to really come in and tell them the truth. No nonsense approach. So what do you think holds people back, Sarah?
Fear. Absolutely fear. And everything that we ever wanted, you say this all the time, is on the other side of fear,
Yeah,
and you want to decide which is worse, the fear
right.
of the fear
Yeah.
or staying where you are.
I
And
was saying,
when that balance goes and you start to really feel like this means more, I
right.
want to get out of this. And
I had a
as you
wise
were, go
woman,
ahead.
I had a wise woman that once told me when I was in facing those decisions, big decisions for my family as well. She said, here's what's going to happen. Either you get used to it or you get sick of it. And either way,
Hmm.
you're gonna be okay. And she was so right. That was like the best advice because if you get mad enough where you're like, why am I tolerating this? Then you finally do something because at least the anger makes you take action and do something. But if you're just depressed,
Yes.
you're shut down, then you just feel more stuck and your feelings are keeping you from actually making those decisions. And
And those feelings, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I often say that indecision is a form of self-abuse.
Correct.
And if we don't make decisions for ourselves and our family, the decisions, the universe, the world will make a decision for us. And it's a very,
Correct. Correct. This stuff is happening whether you want it to or not. There's no see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. We've got it all going on. And keeping things simple, calling things out very simplistically, because we can't manage everything that's going on. Our brains are not meant to do that.
I often
And I
say that
usually go ahead.
I was going to say fear robs us of more than any ex ever could. And that's
Yep.
something we have 100% control over. And we don't always feel empowered as women. We've all experienced situations where we've been dismissed, marginalized, ignored, acted like our voice, like we're invisible, we're not there. Like we
Yep.
all, no matter what type of woman you are, even if you're loud, proud, strong, large, and in charge, like we've been diminished at some point in history throughout our lives. We've all felt that way. And remember how we felt the first time that we felt insignificant compared
Yep.
to other voices that are out there that may be longer, stronger, more confident than ours. So, um, what should people do next? Obviously, they want to get the book. So you guys get the book. If you're watching this later, this is a replay. It may not be the same price, but the launch special is 99 cents. Come on,
You
99.
can't beat it. You can't beat it.
go get the book, leave an honest review that will really help Sarah out too, so people know like how you strongly, how you feel about the book. Um and then if you wouldn't mind like sharing with us a little bit about your journey, because there's a lot of people out there that want to write books. In fact, I just did a story in Forbes not too long ago that talked about how 88% of people want to write a book and only 1% actually do.
Right.
Right? Like that's crazy. So, how did you go about this process and what has this journey been like to see this book baby now out in the world in like literally you did it in like less than 2 months or something?
Right. And, I absolutely cannot thank you and defining moments. I started this with a bang. I'm like, I just want to do this. And I was all over the place. And there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of doubt. And what you did was your team, you provided clarity, you challenged me, and you pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, which I'm already a pretty outgoing person. So, I was at that block and provided me with the resources, the writer, and the confidence to put all of this stuff that was already there, the chapters, the stories, they're already there and we've got them. And it allowed me to vomit them out even more and journey through. I'd never done my timeline, never, because it just was a little too crazy. And sitting there, the absolute peace that I have with all of this. And it is a vehicle of purpose. And what you have empowered me with, and what I really want to say, Melanie, is I truly feel that you are invested in me as a human being. And that to me is so much more than any dollars, any cents, anything. And I can't thank you enough for being a mentor, a friend. It's been wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. You can make me cry. It's
I did
I
that without crying too. I got
I
through it.
know. I'm so proud of you. Yay, us.
But
I mean, you
yeah,
did the work. You really did the work. Our team, by the way, is so talented. I mean, between our writers and editors and our tech team and the people that just kind of take this dream, this thing that seems so intangible. I just am so proud of them because they can extract your knowledge, put it into this
yes,
conversion model formula, speaker platform, list builder, all the things that if you're writing a book and you own a business, by the way, this is like the structure you want to use because it really builds that trust and authority and credibility as somebody who's an expert in the industry because your expertise is your experience.
right.
And so, any of you out there going, I've always wanted to write a book, I don't know where to start, I encourage you to click the link that's also below and go to our website at mydefiningmoments.com. I'm happy to share some resources and tips with you. We'd love to find out more about your ideas and how we can help you, just like you are viewing Sarah's book baby here today, that was born
Yep,
in, less than 2 months. Um,
yep,
I think first draft in 30 days, and then now here we are. It's amazing. And then the other part of this is, yes, you have a book, which is great. People go, oh, I just get the book. If they build it, they will come. I'm just gonna put my book out
right.
there. And people are just gonna
That's the
flock
only
to
theory
it
you could go
and
on with
buy
it.
the book. And that is a myth because it's 10% writing and 90% marketing. And
Right,
so it cracks me up when people go, well, I want to write a book about my life, but I don't want to use my real name. And I'm like, so you want to write a true story from a fake person and you want people to buy it. And
right.
transparency is the new currency today in our world of being this global online community where there's such a huge amount of distrust out there that you really have to show up and be real and authentic. And that means flaws and all. And that is what people are embracing out there in the marketplace. It's okay if it's like not perfect because
Exactly. And
imperfect
that
is
is
okay.
that is my, my book and my coaching, everything is, how are you going to tell me you're dark and spooky if I'm like if you don't know anything about me? So I'm
Right.
putting it all out there. It's all out there. No, nothing to look behind my shoulder and to let people know that that's okay because
It's
that's our
okay.
journey.
I love
Yep.
it. So, Sarah, how do people what's next for our viewers here today? How can obviously you can get the book at the links below, the ebook, and then also the print books coming out. And then how can they work with you or what? I know you have a free gift that you
Absolutely.
wanted to talk about today as
Yes, I
well.
do. I do. There's a dumpster fire assessment that is on the dumpsterfirediaries.com. And it's a great tool to use before you read the book, kind of see where you fall out. And if the book resonates and you're saying, yes, this is what I need, and believe me, you need it. And book a call with me, a strategy call, but get that dumpster fire diary assessment, get the dumpster fire assessment and, you know, start to take that journey, start to get up.
So go to dumpsterfirediaries.com.
The dumpsterfirediaries.com.
Dumpsterfirediaries.com. We're going to put the link below for y'all. You can click on that. First step, go get the assessment, do the assessment. Then you can click on the link to get the book and
For
all
99 cents.
perfect. And then take advantage of this free assessment because the assessment itself is worth like $1,000 as far as the
Right.
time it takes to evaluate it. Hop on a quick call with Sarah, go through the assessment because what happens is she has such a this great gift of clarity to be able to go in based on your assessment and tell you exactly where the problem is. Kind of like
Right.
when you go to the doctor and they're like, "Does it hurt when I do this?" And they push on your
Right. And then just poke
belly.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so it's kind of like once you determine like in the doctor, they figure out, okay, if it's pains here, it's isolated in this organ. Now we know what organ to treat or what part of
Now
the
we
body.
know. Yeah.
And so this is this evaluation period that is so critical in this assessment to determine what
The
are the hot
awareness.
buttons
Yeah.
that we push that trigger these things. When you
Yeah.
find the trigger, now you find the source, you find the
Correct.
motive.
And then you find a solution.
Yeah,
Right.
it's beautiful. I love it. And it's really quick, you guys. You can take it in
Yeah.
a few minutes, do a 15-minute assessment where you get live. I mean, how many times do you get to get on a call with the number one best-selling author who's just like this rock star in her industry? She's giving her personal time that's worth like $10,000 a day. If you were to hire her to come speak or coach or do something with a group, you know, she's got a lot of things going on in her life as a mom as well. So take advantage of her expertise while you have this available to you and follow through on this. And I promise you, you're gonna be so glad that you did. So
It's
Sarah,
worth it.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I'm so proud of you, girl. Like this is so amazing to I've just watched your own personal transformation where, going through this journey with you and seeing you fighting it at sometimes and then you finally just surrendered and said, I trust the process even if I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to trust the team in the process and look what's happened. Look what you
Yep.
built. You created this book baby in like 8 weeks. This is amazing. Congratulations.
It absolutely is. And the biggest thing is I could never have done this alone. I could not have done this by myself. And having the expertise and knowing that that's what I needed, you know?
Well,
And you
you
stepped
wouldn't have
in.
a baby. You wouldn't go into a desert and have a baby all by yourself. Like that's
Right.
dangerous and just stupid. And yet
Right.
people do it all the time. This is why people never finish their book babies
Right.
because they think it's an isolated event. And the truth is, it's just like having a baby. It's a collaboration. You need to
Yep.
get your tribe or your group to help you pick your name, choose
Your
your color.
village.
It's a
Yep.
collaboration of your village to say this, we're doing this together. Now you've got people that are invested in your success. They want to
Yep.
support you. They can't wait to share with you. And when you do a book launch like we're doing here today, this is like
Yep.
your new baby shower. We're celebrating your beautiful new book baby. So
It's so exciting. It is so exciting. Thank you so much, Melanie.
oh, I'm so proud of you. And you did all the work. You really did. We just kind of gave you some steps and some clarity, but you really
And
did
the
the
guidance. Yeah.
in spite of having, get this, you guys, a full-time job in the medical space, very demanding job, being a mother with a son that has a chronic illness, a life-threatening illness, and being able to be this rock star and build out this whole program for stem cell research and everything, you've done amazing things. I'm getting goosebumps. Like you've done
I
a lot
appreciate that. I
with the
appreciate that.
little
Yeah.
time you have, you found a way to be productive and make things happen, even though you could have easily played the victim card in time, I'm too busy, disorder, all of that, which a lot of us will play those cards as an excuse to not
Right.
follow through on something that we know will. change our lives and
Benefit the whole thing. Yep.
people out there. And my mentor said to me years ago, Mark Victor Hansen, Chicken Soup for the Soul, he said, Melanie, stop thinking of who your book is going to help and start thinking of who it's going to hurt if you don't get it finished.
Yes.
So if that speaks to your soul like it did to mine, then I encourage you to come in, get involved, plug in, let us know how we can support you. Come and follow Sarah and go through her process so you understand her journey and how you can help transform your own life and get that dumpster fire. Put the dumpster fire out that's on your life
Out.
and relight the soul pilot light in your own soul and light up that way so you can light up the world and create the
Yep.
impact and the income that you know you were put
That
on.
you want, that you deserve. Yep.
Absolutely.
We deserve this.
Sarah, is there anything else you want to share with our audience before we wrap it up today?
No, I think I really wish for everybody to have a sense of peace and without clear thinking, without vomiting this out. And whether it's you find me, you find somebody that you can really engage with. And that is what this book is. It says, here's me. Here's me. You get to know me. Now
I
come work with me and I can help you get here. And we can do it quickly and we can do it together.
I love it. You're like the female Indiana Jones. I just had this vision of you leading people down this adventure trail with all these tools in your backpack and you're
And just
guiding.
shoving them out.
And it's not just getting them, it's and the fun part about that movie is it's not just about survival. As an audience, it's fun and it's adventurous. That's how life should feel. And
And
even though
it's funny. Yeah. And it's
ups
funny.
and
There's
downs and all
humor in
that,
it. There's humor in everything. And whether
and you
it's
take them on this
inappropriate or,
journey.
yeah, you gotta
You take
laugh.
you take them on this fun adventure, this journey, and at the end, you guys, you have the tools to not just survive, but thrive. Anything that happens in your life because of that journey with Sarah. So I love it. And you're the perfect person to be taking them on that journey and that adventure. So thank you, Sarah, so much for your
Thank
dedication,
you, Melanie.
for your commitment to actually finishing and getting your book baby out there. So we love you. We're so proud of you.
I
Congratulations.
love you too. I love you too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We're so happy you joined us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you're watching this on YouTube and reach out if there's anything we can do to support you. If you have questions,
Absolutely.
need more information on Sarah, we're happy to support. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.